Most of us, when we think about where economic thought comes from, immediately think of Adam Smith or Karl Marx. Maybe those who are a bit more curious also remember Aristotle. But here's the interesting part. One of the thinkers who questioned money and the economy most deeply is almost never mentioned in Western history books. Nearly 1,000 years ago, long before capitalism existed, before central banks were even imaginable, a Muslim thinker was describing today's economic problems almost word for word. What he said was simple yet striking. When money loses its moral compass, society begins to rot from the inside. And when you look at the world today, it's hard not to think he was right. To better understand al-Ghazali, let's take ourselves back to the 11th century. Europe is poor, fragmented, and struggling. In contrast, the Islamic world is wealthy, dynamic, and full of life. Cities like Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo are centers of trade, knowledge, and money. Markets are crowded, caravans move constantly, and wealth is everywhere. And as money increases, problems begin to grow alongside it. This is exactly where al-Ghazali steps in. He wasn't just a religious scholar, he was a sharp observer of society. He watched people, markets, and rulers, and quickly realized that something was wrong. Everyone seemed to be getting richer, yet no one was truly satisfied. The economy was growing, but society itself was beginning to unravel. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Al-Ghazali asked a powerful question. What happens when a society becomes rich before it becomes wise? To answer this, he focused on money itself. To him, money was not sacred. It was not something to be worshipped. It was simply a tool, a means that makes exchange between people easier. He even compared money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. It only reflects something else. Money is the same. Its value doesn't lie in itself, but in what it causes people to do. That's why one of the things he criticized most was hoarding wealth. According to al-Ghazali, money that sits locked away is dead money. It doesn't create jobs, it doesn't grow trade, and it doesn't feed people. Instead, it clogs the system and freezes the market. When we talk today about wealth being concentrated in the hands of a few, we're describing exactly what he warned about. Another issue that deeply disturbed him was speculation. Those who profit from crises, manipulate prices, or turn other people's suffering into opportunity receive no sympathy from him. To al-Ghazali, this wasn't intelligence, it was moral decay. There is no real contribution, only profit made from someone else's loss. And as this behavior spreads, trust disappears from the market. And al-Ghazali was very clear about one thing. Without trust, there is no market. The moment people stop trusting each other, the economy begins to collapse. Today, when contracts, banks, and even money itself are built entirely on trust, this insight feels more relevant than ever. Still, al-Ghazali was not against trade. On the contrary, he saw trade as natural and necessary. He didn't oppose profit either. What he opposed was profit gained through deception, lying, cheating, false weights, hiding defects, or manipulating information. He believed dishonest merchants slowly destroy markets from within. Al-Ghazali also criticized rulers. In his time, leaders often reduced the gold or silver content of coins to cover budget deficits, an early version of inflation. Al-Ghazali openly called this theft because it meant secretly stealing from the public. It made the poor poorer and destroyed trust in the market. In his view, the role of the state was not to manipulate markets, but to protect justice, because unjust rulers destroy a country faster than any external enemy. And perhaps his most powerful statement was this: a society can survive poverty, but it cannot survive corruption. Economies don't collapse because money runs out. They collapse because trust runs out. Once people stop believing the system is fair, neither money nor rules can hold it together. Al-Ghazali understood something deeply important. Money is not just a technical issue, it's a human one. Fear, greed, ambition, insecurity. Unless these are addressed, no economic system can truly function. Laws are not enough. Systems are not enough. If incentives don't guide human behavior in the right direction, everything eventually breaks down. When we look at the world today, rising inequality, financial bubbles, crises, debt, and declining trust. Al-Ghazali's words don't sound ancient at all. They sound like a description of our own time. And maybe that's the real lesson. The economy is not just about numbers. It's a moral issue. And when morality collapses, the economy collapses right after it. History doesn't repeat itself exactly. But if we fail to understand it, the outcome is always the same: